All right. Record. Good.
I'm gonna sneak across here just really
Perfect.
quick. I'm sorry.
Glad to have everybody here tonight. And I'm such an honor to present and to have the marvelous and amazing Jim Rhoades with us tonight. And Jill, we're so thankful for Jill's home to have this marvelous presentation and meeting. Now, let me see here, as I organize this a little bit here for the computer. Okay, there we go. Now, very good. Let's advance this. All right. So, just before we introduce Jim, I'd like to actually introduce Zallevo a little bit, and then Jim's going to discuss the amazing and marvelous products. So, as we discuss this beautiful and amazing company that has these incredible products, I am just completely super impressed with how the products are, number one, formulated. The sourcing of each of the ingredients are very specifically formulated, and we could go on and on about the products themselves, but even furthermore, I'm totally impressed with the integrity of the company. The integrity of the company itself. What I mean by that is the leaders and executive team of the company have to be in integrity with the message of the company. Would you agree? To have integrity with the company. And if the company is promoting values, mission statements, slogans, and so forth, should the executive team and the office team be all on board and living those themselves? But how often do we see that happening in the business world? Not very often. They come up with these beautiful slogans, these beautiful messages, but yet to live them themselves as a home office and a corporate office team, it's almost like do as I say, not as I do. Right? This company is totally different. And that at the very top is what makes this completely different as a company. Because this company is with integrity, and it's even derived in their meeting. And so the company was actually founded by Brandon Broadwater and his business partner, Mitch Hancock, and the corporate team. And then they developed the meaning of Zallevo, which is two words combined, Zallevo and zenith. So you combine those two words, and it's the time in one's life of greatest power and success to elevate, to rise up, to uplift and enhance, and to elevate people to their highest potential. That's what the name of this company means. And I'm here to let you know that this company lives with integrity to this. I've been to many, many corporate events as well as private events. And this message goes from corporate team to field team to all those who are coming in. It's incredible. I love it so very much and I'm just so grateful for this message in this particular company. So there's Brandon, founder and CEO, and there's Mitch. The vision, our purpose is to provide elite formulations, unlock limited mindsets, and uplift people to their highest potential. Boom. This company does that. I'm so impressed with that. Here are the core values. Here's what's impressive about the core values. Again, the executive leadership team chooses one of these, and the executive team and the staff in their executive meetings and in their weekly team meetings engender and focus on a core value for that week. Am I right or am I right?
Correct.
Isn't that impressive?
It is very impressive, rather than just put it on a wall and say, oh, that's ours.
I've very rarely seen this done and implemented in action.
Well, at the beginning of every meeting, they say, what is your personal positive focus? What is your business positive focus? And what is your core value you're working on and why?
Wow.
Yep.
That is responsibility and accountability.
And they do that at the beginning of every day of their beginning meeting.
Even to Brandon himself is asked that question. What is his personal value that he's working on? What's the core value he's working on, etc.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's called accountability to the responsibility.
Like when I went in today to meet with Mitch, he did it with me first thing. So
oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Incredible. So, and at every one of the corporate meetings, they have each one of these core values on the banners, and you'll see them in the aisleways as the core values that represent this particular company. I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm astounded that this has been built so well. Now, I get to introduce tonight's presenter, who is absolutely amazing to me. I consider him a brother from another mother. He and I have had a very similar journey, as a matter of fact. He's been in nutrition for about 45 years. Is that correct? And I've been in nutrition only about 30 years. So
that just makes me very old.
But it's so amazing to have a brother from another mother who's been studying and understanding the minerals and the core values of the minerals, the core nutritional components and minerals, and to have him come into this company, having that understanding and knowledge, and now to meet him myself, having that exact same knowledge in the minerals and where these minerals are coming from, and having 70 plus minerals for the body to literally regulate and modulate itself. That's what minerals do in the body. They regulate and modulate, right?
Absolutely.
And so to have Jim with this beautiful experience, and to I marvel, and as I learn from him every time that we get to meet, I'm so grateful. He is also an amazing network marketing leader. In the former company, he was the 44th millionaire, and he gave that up to come to Zallevo. Like, walk away, kind of give it up. Don't sell your position, kind of give it up.
Walk away.
Like, bye. I think it's time for me to make a shift. I've got to leave. Goodbye. I close that door, that chapter of my life, and start a brand new chapter.
Right.
Fresh, clean, new business. Wow. And that is another level of integrity to me, that how you show faith and how you walk that integrity. So I'm so grateful to introduce you tonight, Jim. Thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Harada. Oh, it is such a pleasure. Wow, how do I follow that? Imagine 18 years with one company that was a multi-billion-dollar company, walking away from that. Why in the world would you ever do that? And of course, when I announced to my wife I was considering that, she says, "You've rolled out of bed and hit your head. I know that's what's happened to you." And I said, "No, I've discovered something that no one has ever done before. Not only do they have the core values that all resonate with me, and I call these eternal principles that I try to live my life by, then those eternal principles are super unique with any opportunity that goes with it. But when you add the fact that the products themselves, which I get to share in the next few minutes with you, are so exceptional. Having been, prior to my 18-year experience with the former company, which was amazing for me to learn, I was actually the CEO of another company for almost a decade, where my mentors were biochemists and doctors of nutrition and master herbalists, and their backgrounds were shared with me for 10 years because they were my board of directors. And I discovered how incredible this body is and its ability to self-heal. Now, that's a big word. We don't claim that we heal, treat, or diagnose any illness. But I can tell you that what we put in can help the whole body do its own work, which is miraculously recover from some very tough conditions. And a lot of them are brought on because of lack of nutrition and lifestyle. And as a consequence, I get to talk about that nutrition because that's been my big study for the last 4.5, 5 decades, literally. And it's exciting not only to find a product that is so unique that that product could take any company to the top. It is that good, that easy to know that it works by just using it and seeing the results in short periods of time, no months and years, but in days and even hours for some of these products. They are that unique and that wonderful, and there's not just one, but several, and every one of them are that same class act. They are the gold standard of gold standards, and I dare anybody to even try to get to where they're at. And so when I experienced this company with, first of all, their core values, and then I saw that their products were that unique, I knew I was in trouble. And I simply say this, everything in my life up to that point, the 35 years, 40 years of study, of being with good companies and good people had prepared me exactly for this event. To walk away from a steady income to let's jump in the trenches because these products need to be out there. And so with that, let's talk about the master formulations. There are actually three types. There is the standard formulations, which come in the black, that are used for every day, balancing the body, bringing harmony and homeostasis, which means balance. They are the most nutritional packed foods probably on the planet. Then we have some specialty items such as our collagen and such as our Fortitude 85, which really work on two separate things. Oh, is that MindSeek right there?
That's MindSeek.
Here's Fortitude 85. I got you. Okay. We'll talk about each individual one here in just a moment, but then we have a whole new array of products that everybody in the world should be excited about as you get to know what they are and what they can do. And including the one that I really am so impressed with, when I misidentified, which is MindSync. The fact that I'm turning 75 here in a couple of weeks, that I can still walk into a room and remember why I walked in. And that, I have to say, is the most important. Yes, my health overall is really important to me. But if I lose this part of me, so I don't know who I am and I don't know who you are, that is not what I am looking for. And that gives me an opportunity to live another decade or two with this mind being able to function and do what I want to do with the people I want to do it with. With that, let's advance to the next one, and we'll start talking about these products real quick. Our Ultra 30. I was invited to be a guest lecturer at Harvard University. They wanted to know after, and this was back several years ago, why I was so intent on telling people that the standard meals that they get from fast foods or even picking good foods at the grocery store are missing certain nutrients and they need to supplement. And the thing that's missing most are minerals. And the minerals are missing because of our agricultural switch to something called pesticide. Pesticide is a boon for all the farmers because all they have to do is spray it on their fruits and all their vegetables, and it kills all the little pests that come to eat their produce before they get to harvest it and take it to market. But the word side should give you a clue. Side is Latin for death. Pest, death. You've heard of suicide, personal death, homicide, to kill someone else. All of those, it's true, it kills all the pests. But without thinking, it also soaks down through the topsoil, killing all of the microorganisms, all the bacteria, and even the earthworms. So what we've done over the years since the early 50s, when pesticide was invented and brought to the market, by the way, by the petroleum industry, that should give you a little hint of maybe it's not that good for us either, okay? We've discovered we have sterilized all of the commercial farming lands using pesticide. So we've killed all the microorganisms, we've killed all the earthworms, we've killed all of the bacteria. Big deal, right? Well, let's have a moment of, silence for the earthworm, at least, we can see them, okay? But the truth is, we didn't know what these little guys did. They simply took minerals. By the way, minerals are born as rocks. And as they weather, they become part of the topsoil. And these rocks that we see are things like iron and calcium and magnesium and so forth. Now, the question is, this little piece of rock sitting by the root of the plant, does the plant want some little mineral called iron? Yes. Well, how long will the plant have to wait for this little rock, piece of iron, to dissolve so it can be uptaken? How long does it take for a rock to dissolve in water?
It doesn't.
Oh, well, you're right. It doesn't. Well, how does a plant absorb a rock? It doesn't. That's that answer again. But once upon a time, these microorganisms would congregate around the roots of every plant. Why? Because the plant is exuding a liquid to soften the earth so it can push its roots deeper. Got that? That liquid is a milk sugar that draws every kind of bacteria, every kind of microorganism to eat dinner. It's the dinner bell. And when it comes, it processes all of the rock minerals and converts them into water-soluble minerals. Aha! Now can the plant absorb it once it's water-soluble? Go like this. Or else I'm going to be here all night. I got to teach you this. Okay. Yes, of course it can. And that's the key. But when you kill those microorganisms, guess what's missing in almost all the plants that you've eaten today that you bought at the grocery store?
All the minerals.
A ton of minerals. Now, vitamins produce color, so there's plenty of color because vitamins are still in there, but minerals are missing, which produce flavor. Have you ever eaten not to pick on California, but have you ever eaten a nice, juicy, red tomato grown in California? Yes?
Yeah.
And you just took a big bite out of it, and then you go, well, I see it's red, I see it's juicy, but where is the flavor? The minerals are missing. And here's another thing most people do not realize. Without minerals, the vitamins are useless. Yes, useless. If you don't have vitamin, well, let's say vitamin C, which everybody knows is really good for your immune system, right? It's the bullets for all of your immune soldiers, all right? If you don't have calcium and magnesium at the same time that the vitamin C is going through you, it's sloughed off in your urine. You can take 100% measurement of how much you took. You can measure how much comes out in the urine. And if you didn't have some magnesium and calcium with it, it's 99.9% comes right back out. You put the magnesium and the calcium, you get less than 1% coming out. So that's how important minerals are. And that's what I spoke at Harvard about. The minerals are missing. The reason is because of our farming practices. And so if we don't supplement with those minerals, even the vitamins we're taking are missing. And your body depends on those base building blocks to rebuild itself. Knowing that, guess what's in this product? You'll notice the word right here, full spectrum. That means there are all 4 of the following nutrients that the body can't produce for itself in this meal. Essential amino acids. Have you heard of those before? Do you know what they are? They're your proteins. Your proteins, you have a whole host of proteins, but there are some essential ones that the body cannot manufacture for itself. That's why they're called essential. You have to eat them. Got it? Essential fatty acids. Have you heard that term? Do you know what those are? Those are your healthy fats and oils. Essential vitamins. That's the ones, again, the body cannot produce. And the essential minerals. That's the one the body cannot produce or make on its own. All of those add up to approximately 90. Okay. The 90, 60 of the 90 are minerals. Holy mackerel. So if the minerals are missing because there's no conversion of the rocks to a water-soluble mineral so the plant can uptake it, so we can eat the plant and get it, what do? Well, we're just deficient in them. And then suddenly the body is not thriving, it's barely surviving. So what does Zallevo do? They put minerals, not just one source, but three separate sources. One, a fulvic which has got 72 trace minerals, another one of red sea kelp, which is 70 more essential minerals, and then the last ancient sea salt. So you're getting even a huge variety of different minerals and different quantities that the body is so hungry for, because that's what's missing in most of our diets. And that's what I got to speak to at Harvard of why supplementation is important. This one meal has 25 to 50% of every one of those nutrients that are called essential in it. So if you're adding a couple of others, like a second shake, now you're to 70% or so. And then another form of protein would be whatever you're going to eat as your additional proteins. Suddenly it's got everything except the calories and the high sugars, all of which makes it very friendly for us. Enzymes. How important are enzymes? Does everybody know what they are? Well,
Catalysts.
exactly. Catalyst is a correct word. They make things happen. They turn things on and off, but they also are the delivery system of the nutrients. They take protein, for instance, break it down into amino acids, little bitty building blocks for every cell of the body. Enzymes both digest and break down, as well as grab a hold of and carry to the cell all the building blocks. Do you think they're important? It doesn't matter how much you eat of something. If it doesn't get delivered to the rest of where it's needed, it just goes in one end and out the other end, and you've got expensive urine and expensive others. Okay.
Fecal matter.
Fecal matter. That's a polite way to say it. As my grandkids like to say, poop. So, it's got the Z minerals, 72 ionic minerals there. It's got the 72 red algae minerals, and it's got another set, which is your trace minerals from the ancient sea salt. It's got 13 essential vitamins. 13. It's got a way to help you break it down, which is the friendly bacteria we call probiotic in the shake, so that your gut can digest, break down, and absorb. You got good friendly bacteria. This has got it in it. Okay. And it's sweetened with something called zero cane. And has everybody here tasted it yet? Okay. It's gonna taste as good as any shake you could make or buy, in my opinion.
Better.
It is actually, in my opinion, I am delighted every day. And what really, it passes the taste test, because I have a lot of grandkids, and the younger ones are harder to please. But when a 4-year-old grandson comes in and says, "Grandpa, I'm visiting you today. Can you make me one of those protein milkshakes?" And I says, "I sure can." And he says, "Were you going to put a little bit of strawberries in it or blueberries?" And I'll say, "I can do whatever way you want." But when they're asking for the best nutritional meal in the world, and they like it and want seconds, you know you've got a winner. Cost is also important. A whole meal under $4 that is fully loaded. So this is one product, and we didn't really get into. It comes in two forms. One form is now available, and that's our whey-based, which is the whey is coming from New Zealand. That's important to understand why. The cattle there are all grass-fed. They're never given growth hormones. They're never given antibiotics, and they're only milked during milking season.
They're happy cows.
They are very happy cows. Yes, they are. And they're fed what cows should eat, which is grass. That is why they are so healthy. It's actually the law there. If you're in the dairy industry, you cannot give your cattle antibiotics. You cannot give them growth hormones. And so you've got to take good care and let them be free range. All of those things is what we have. Then we take from that milk the whey powder, which is undenatured, and that's important. It simply means it's not been heat treated or pasteurized, which means it is still all in natural form and it hasn't been converted by heat so that the body cannot utilize it right. Its amino acid profile, that's a very fancy set of words, is the best of any product on the earth as far as giving you every essential amino acid, which is your protein building blocks. So we'll go to the next one. I can go into deeper discussion on all of these sort of things, but if we want, I'm going to go through all the products and then maybe we can come back to this and do individual ingredients. I will just tell you this. Their sourcing is not just good. Their sourcing is checked every single batch, that it is the cleanest, that it has no heavy metals, that it has no pesticide, that it is as natural as you can get of all of their ingredients in the entire package of what this has. And it, like I say, full spectrum simply means it's got all of the building blocks the body needs to regenerate itself in a very healthy manner, along with the delivery system of live enzymes that can take those individual building blocks to all of the cells of the body. Doing that, it starts with the gut, with what it can do there and help build that healthy mucal lining, which we need, that often starts to thin out, and then we end up with digestive disorders that no one wants to have. This one product all by itself, because it's low calorie and low glycemic, is actually and gluten-free and a whole bunch. It doesn't even have any preservative in it. It is actually that clean. Most anybody else is going to throw preservatives in the products. That gives it a little less shelf life, but it's still a year plus, enough time to use. Even when opened, you've got a month or two to use it up, or put it in the fridge sealed, and it'll go a little longer. So, burn mode. Oh my gosh, this is important. Yes, I'm glad you're here for the whole night, because we're going to out. I'm not going to do that to you. This was the product that made me say to my wife, Kathy, they've got something that is so unique that I'm not sure they even understand the dramatic ability of helping people with health challenges. Does anybody happen to know the top 5 degenerative diseases? Could you name them? Cardio, cancer, heart attack. Well, excuse me. Okay, cardio includes both heart attack as well as stroke is 3. Number 4, diabetes. Number 5, dementia and Alzheimer's. All 5 of these diseases have a common thread that goes through all 5 that makes them killers. I'll use that word.
What it is, can I say?
Do you happen to know what it is?
It's called insulin resistance.
Insulin resistance, you get a prize. Most people are unfamiliar with that terminology unless they are diabetic. But all 5 of them, insulin resistance is the common thread that runs through all 5 and creates them. And insulin resistance starts often 5 to 10 years prior to any symptoms showing up in a person's life. And most of us only know about it about type 2 diabetics, right? We know that they have something going on, and once they're called a type 2, it's because they have something called insulin resistance.
Is Parkinson's included in one of those 5?
No, not as the main 5 reasons for death. This is the top 5 that take us out. Okay, it's down the line a little bit. Okay.
And how the insulin resistance, I was talking to my friend today about what is insulin resistance. And that is the common thread you're saying that goes through
Yes.
dementia and heart attacks and cancer and diabetes and whatever.
Cardio disease.
Cardio. Well,
Yes.
cardio is number one.
Yes, cardio, which is usually heart attack. Number 3 is stroke.
Yeah.
Number 2 is cancer. 4 is diabetes type 2. And 5 is diabetes type 3, which is now termed dementia and Alzheimer's.
And type 1 diabetes is what?
Type 1 is a total different
That's when
animal.
you're born with.
I will get into that. It's actually an autoimmune disorder when your own body attacks its ability to build insulin. So it destroys its ability in the pancreas to ever produce insulin, and you become insulin dependent the moment that happens if you start utilizing carbohydrates or sugars that need the insulin to get it out of the blood.
And is A1C, is that?
It's a measurement of your blood sugars over a period of time. And if you go past a 6, you can be anywhere below 6 and you're considered non-diabetic. Once it hits 6, you're pre-diabetic, 6.1. Now they declare you are a type 2 diabetic. But type 1 has nothing to do with lifestyle.
Okay.
It just happens that your own immune system went a little wacko while it was trying to destroy something else that was bothering it, and it destroyed its ability to produce insulin. Type 2 is lifestyle, and it has to do with a whole host of things, and the biggest one being insulin resistance. And here's the incredible part that I can make this claim, and I'm saying it because of experience of hundreds of people I've helped who have had insulin resistance and are in trouble going down that slippery slope. The body is capable of, even after you've gone over the cliff a bit, to pull yourself back and become insulin sensitive again. That's the terminology you need to write, because that's where you want to be and stay. Once you're insulin sensitive, you're going to be in the 5s or the 4s, okay, as far as your A1C, okay? That's what you want. How in the world you get there is a couple of different ways, and this one is the leading thing that absolutely triggered my mind. I says, no one has ever come up with this before, because it's called intermittent fasting. Now, how many of you really like to fast? How come no one but one athlete is raising his hand?
No one but Ben.
Either that or he just doesn't like food. Something's wrong with him. Okay, it's one or the other. Okay, he likes to feel good versus eating something that makes him not feel so good or perform so well. Well, believe it or not, intermittent fasting is the healing method that gets you into a position where the body can start reversing itself from insulin resistance back into homeostasis, insulin sensitivity. And that's what these guys have put together in Zallevo, is a way to fast from the things that would break a fast, but eat every 4 hours a product that maintains your energy, your strength, your mental acuity, your ability to perform and go to work and have energy to do so. And you can go 24 hours. You can even go 48 hours. You can even go longer than that if desired, by fueling every 4 hours with this product called Burn. And the reason it's called Burn is a secondary thing it's doing is while you are fasting, the body switches from using glucose as its fuel to burning the stored glucose that's been turned into fat. It now is depending, because you're fasting, you're not putting any carbohydrates in your body, even though every 4 hours you're eating this product, there's no carbs in it. Wow. So what does that accomplish? It accomplishes the body goes after the stored fuel called fat, which once was glucose, turned into fat, and now it turns it back into a fuel called a ketone. And the ketone now is taken down to the liver, and the liver delivers it out to all the trillions of cells. It's amazing. And while it's doing so, the cells are not being beat up by too much insulin pushing the doors to put in the glucose. And once they stop pushing the doors, the cell says to itself, we're not being bullied anymore by this stuff called insulin, pushing all of this fuel in when we don't want anymore. So I guess we can take some barriers down. And as the barriers come down, guess what happens? Insulin sensitivity starts to show up. And when you have insulin sensitivity versus insulin resistance, remember those 5? You can start taking your name off of those lists. That's my personal belief. That is nothing short of miraculous, because I have some siblings, a younger brother and a younger sister, who are suffering from that number 4 problem, having to give themselves injections daily and having to live on tablets and things, and really trying to drop excess weight that they haven't been able to lose. But suddenly now there's a way to do that, and their whole life is going to change up in the future of a quality life versus down a slippery slope that no one wants to go down. When somebody has put that together and made it possible for someone who has a low blood sugar issue, which is me, to be able to fast for 72 hours comfortably, easily, and feel good at the end of 72 hours, having ran my 5 miles, having gone 3 days without foods, it is just amazing. A secondary thing sets in because of this, and it's called autophagy. And it's spelled really uniquely. It's right here on the slide, AUTOPHAGY. A lot of people would like to pronounce it
Autophagy.
autophagy, because that's what it looks like. Exactly, autophagy. Well, if you're in England, that's the way they say it.
And in Australia.
And Australia, but we call it autophagy. It's when the body has the ability, check this out, to reboot everything in the body. And it happens at hour 24 while you're doing that fast, and goes all the way to hour 48, rebuilding old, broken, and non-functional and even dangerous cells. And when you can start doing that, what's going to happen as you rebuild organs and glands and heart and muscle and brain cells and toenail cells and hair cells? Well, I don't know about the hair, but what would happen to you if you could actually start feeling like you were 10 years younger, 20 years younger?
You pulling it back?
Absolutely.
This is actually the fountain of youth that I like to talk about, and could go 14 more hours, but we'll get on. I'll just tell you this: intermittent fasting aid supports detoxification. How important is it to detox? Cleanse.
Absolutely.
We do not want toxins floating around, because what it does is gives us allergies, asthma, constipation, diarrhea, and then the list goes on. So if we can get rid of those things by detoxing, yes. Supports autophagy, supports liver health, supports immune health, supports healthy blood sugar like crazy. So you have 4 hours in between each waking hour to utilize one of these. There's just a little stick, you pour it in water, it tastes delicious, and you drink it down, and that's your meal for the next 4 hours. Then you do it again, then you do it again every 4 hours. And it maintains your energy by giving energy to the individual cells. And inside the cells, there's a little energy box in there called the mitochondria, and it feeds those mitochondria. Okay, so that is my reason why I left a comfortable position after 18 years of building to come on board with this company that has something so unique, so different, that is going to change up the future for anyone who would listen to you, trust you enough that they would put it in their body and observe what happens in the next 30 days. I will just tell you, my cousin's wife, who's Native American, very prone to that number 4 because she's been number 4 for some years, not only has changed everything, but her doctor is all but fainted as he said, I don't think you need any of the things you've been on for the last several years, besides the fact that you've dropped over 40 pounds. And you've been trying to drop that 40 pounds for how many years that I've been helping you. But with this, it's doable because you're burning your fat. That's why it's called burn. For fuel as ketones, which is a better fuel than straight glucose. Okay.
So ketones is a replacement for glucose.
Ketones are glucose, only it's been refined. Yes, and it replaces the glucose that's going to the cells. It's all delivered by the liver, not by the insulin. And as soon as insulin is not needed in the bloodstream, out comes human growth hormone in high amounts, 300% greater by hour 24. And human growth hormone is the catalyst that turns on autophagy. So you're rebuilding all of the broken, discarded, non-functional, old, and dangerous cells of every part of the body.
When you're fasting like this, when does your appetite kick in and says, hey, give me some food?
Good question. That's why it's every 4 hours. Some people who have never fasted before, they're not going to go 24. If they just did 12, they started at night, they've got 8 already behind them, and they skip breakfast by using one of these, and they get all the way to like noon, boom. They've
That's
just,
where I'm at.
that's where a lot of us are. Here's the thing, you're going to feel when you take your first burn that morning for breakfast, pretty darn good. And you'll go 4 more hours going, okay, I could eat, but it's interesting. Even my cravings aren't that high. I'm okay. I still have energy. I can think, I can work, I can walk, run, whatever.
I haven't died yet.
I haven't died yet. That's the real test. I love that. Here's the second secret to adding that morning. When you take your second burn, you took one at night just before you went to bed. So you got 8 hours behind you. The next morning, if you'll add this to your burn, which is E5, it will energize all of the cells even to a higher point that you'll probably go right on past your 4 hours later. It's time to take your next meal and make it maybe even 8 more hours or all the way to hour 24 without going, this is crazy that I can feel this good and I have not eaten anything for 24 hours. And then the next time you do it, a week or so later, you may go 30 hours. And then the next 36 or 40 or 48.
So
That
you're
last 24,
maybe like that you try to do it once a month, twice a month.
twice a month is perfect. If you're going to go longer than 24. If you want to go 24 only, you can do it weekly. But if you're going to go longer than 24, you got to keep it to 3 or less, especially if you're going 48. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, question.
Does the burn mode have any antioxidants in it?
It's really interesting. How many of you know what antioxidants are? That is a super question. Does the burn mode have antioxidant potential in it? And the answer is, remember I said that these products are so unique, nobody even, what I'm about to tell you may blow all my credibility. You may say that's not possible because that is exactly what I said to the person who told me what the antioxidant content of one of those little sticks that you take every 4 hours has for the body. What are antioxidants? What do they do for us?
They help remove the rust out of your body.
They help remove the rust right out of your body. They actually stop the rust from happening. Because what you have is oxygen-free radicals, you may have heard of that, that are destroying and breaking down prematurely all of the tissue they touch. And they're inside your cells, they're outside of your cells, they're in your bloodstream, they're throughout your body, and they're promoted a lot by all of the toxins that we haven't got rid of in our body. We create a whole bunch more because of heavy metals, pesticides, herbicides, artificial flavors, artificial colors, artificial sugars or sweeteners, especially soda pop. All of those things are creating these things. The unfortunate thing is that they break down the cells prematurely by stealing the electrons off of whatever they touch. And when it's missing an electron, because this oxidative molecule is swiping it, then it weakens it. So you want an antioxidant to stop it before it does damage. A cup of blueberries, wild blueberries, is considered one of the best antioxidants on the planet. 1 cup of wild blueberries has the potential of 9,000 antioxidants in it. In other words, it's ORAC score, ORAC standing for oxidative capacity.
Oxygen radical absorbance capacity.
Thank you. I knew it was out there somewhere.
Say that
Appreciate
again.
that.
Oxygen radical absorbance capacity. Yeah. ORAC. All right.
ORAC score, 9,000. So when you compare anything with antioxidants in it, you compare it to a cup of blueberries. 1 dose, and you're taking one of these doses of burn every how many hours?
4.
Every 4 hours. You ready? Contains 2.8 million ORAC score or antioxidants.
Wonder what you'd look like if you ate that many blueberries.
You would have to eat approximately 100 cups of blueberries and you would look like a Smurf.
You might be plump too.
Yes. The breakthrough in science. Now, everybody's aware of this, right? Do you know technology doubles every 2 years? Have you heard that before? In other words, the phone that you have in your pocket has more computing ability than all of the computers that sent the men to the moon and back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's held in we call it a phone. It does everything except phoning. Ask any of my grandkids. It does all these things. Well, the same thing has happened in the science of nutrition and the body. And real quickly, because I'm taking way too much time on every beautiful thing about this. I apologize for that, but I get a little excited about things that just don't exist and suddenly do. The science of finding the ingredient that has an antioxidant content of 2.8 million in 1 dose. Are you kidding me? Do you know what that's going to do in stopping the oxidative stress within every cell of the body? If you're taking it every day, even if you're not going to use it for fasting. Right there is your, let's stay young longer, let's stay healthier longer, let's keep the brain moving longer. It is so phenomenal. This one product right here could send us all to the moon if they had nothing else but this. This is the reason that I woke up at 4 a.m. in the morning after I'd been introduced to it and said, I don't know if anybody knows what they've invented. I hope they know what they've done here, because this is exactly what the world needs right now. Real quick story. I just spent last week up on an Indian reservation, if you happen to know where Fort Hall is in Idaho, talking to some of the tribal fathers. Okay, these are people who can make decisions and share things. And I shared this technology. I was told that the Navajo tribe either is pre-diabetic or diabetic 70% of their nation. And they have 14-year-olds who are getting fitted with fistulas and on dialysis already because it's killed their kidneys. 14-year-olds, are you kidding me? Why? Lifestyle, lifestyle, lifestyle. Now, I just Well, number one, I was there with the young lady I mentioned who's lost the 45 pounds, was on a host of things because of her blood sugar issues and is no longer needing them anymore. And she just shared her story and lifted and showed her six-pack she has now that used to be like this. And everybody went, sign me up. I think I want some of that stuff. Right here is the key to their whole nation of having a difference, in my opinion.
I went
We're ready.
down on the reservation and talked to one of the delivery guys for the soft drinks, and they said that the highest deliveries of any place in the whole country is right there for the soft drinks like Pepsi and Coke and all.
Wow.
That's what they live on.
Yeah.
And it's because they can't build a real grocery store on the reservation. So the only ones that build are, well, they're the common ones with the M on them and the big burgers on the outside and the Kentucky people and the stuff. Okay, anyway, didn't want to dish anybody, but that's what they live on. Otherwise, it's a 12-mile hike into the city to the grocery store and carry it back because a lot of them don't have transportation. Okay. So E-Vibe, this is our natural nutrition with more antioxidants. In fact, the E-Vibe has 28,000 ORAC score just by itself, as if you need more after a couple of million anyway. Here's some of the ingredients that make this product off the chart. Again, we'll come back to these ingredients. Fortitude 85. The good news is you're all Utahns, right?
Montana.
Oh, okay, well, these guys may need it, but the rest of us don't because we don't have stress. They might. Okay, they have to drive in snowy conditions. We don't.
That's different than Kevin Costner's story.
That's probably true. Okay, anybody who's married, anybody who has kids or grandkids probably has enough stress. This product becomes the only product that I can tell you is addictive because once you're on it, you never want to go back. It de-stresses at cellular level. It is filled with something called a product of herbs that have the highest nutrient value of all, called adaptogens. And it has several adaptogens, 85 botanicals, vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, combats stress, supports weight loss, balances your mood, supports libido, supports energy and endurance, immune health. You take 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening.
Hey, Jim,
Yes.
if Ben Tripp was on a stranded island, this would be the product he would take. Why?
Correct.
For me, for anxiety, stress, I run several businesses. My overall sense of well-being while I'm taking this, my anxiety, my stress levels have actually have plummeted since I got on this. And I haven't had a panic attack in almost 2 years.
Wow. Ben just shared his story about using this product. Do you think he's converted? Oh my gosh. You don't go back once you've learned a way to de-stress. Stress is the secret thief of our health because it keeps the mind just wound up using so much energy that's useless because you can't do anything about it. So by de-stressing and taking it easy, you can live a lot longer and a lot healthier. So Fortitude 85, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. Collagen 300, real quick.
My favorite, real quick.
It is the glue that holds every cell together. It's what connects one cell to the other to form your organs, to form your cartilage, to form your anything from bones to teeth, to skull to toes, toenails, skin. It is the most plentiful of all proteins in the whole body. Your body produces plenty until you're 25, and at that point it starts shutting itself down. That's how we get wrinkly. Otherwise, our skin would be nice and taut and smooth like little kids' are. But as we stop producing our own collagen, we age, and it shows up in our skin because that's our largest organ, but it shows up everywhere else in saggy baggy. This happens to have a double therapeutic dose of collagen. Okay, it's marine collagen. and its technology that makes it unique is that they've been able to make the molecules, and it's called a tripeptide, which means 3 separate protein molecules held together. Okay, and these molecules have been sized down because the receptors for your collagen are only about 300 Daltons in diameter. Daltons is the measurement of how big the opening is. Most collagens on the market range from anywhere from 3,000 Daltons down to 1,500. Ours has a number behind it. Have you noticed the number?
300.
Collagen what?
300.
I'll be darned. Instead of only getting 10% in, did I mention this? It doesn't matter how much you take, it's how much it gets in. So if you're trying to push a basketball through something built for a BB, how much is going to get in? Only that which touches, 5 to 10%. Suddenly we have the exact size of what should be put in the hole, 95%. One dose per day.
Yes, marine mean that it comes from
Fish,
It doesn't
skin,
come from beef or,
no,
okay.
it's all coming from fish, which is the closest one to the human peptides that we produce that do 90% of the lift. There are several different collagens, and you can get them from chickens and beef and pigs and all kinds of animals. But the best that is closest to the human one is this one, but add one more dimension. For those who are younger, your body is still producing plenty of its own collagen, but in order to produce it, you need 4 certain vitamins: vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and biotin. And you need 2 specific minerals, which happen to be zinc and copper. Did you notice what's in the formulation?
All of it.
Oh, so you're making more of your own collagen, which is even more acceptable than the one we're getting from the fish skin.
Look at all them again.
So anyway, this is a product that is so unique. It shows up in days and weeks as far as looks. And if you want to look young and healthy, yes, it will help with all of your movements. In fact, it's made it possible for me to get ready for a half marathon at age 75, which I'll be here in a couple of weeks, to be able to run again after the doc says, nope, no more running, no more even driving in a car for more than 1 hour without getting out and walking around. So I can drive. In fact, I'll be getting up tomorrow morning at 6:30 to drive to Phoenix, stay there a day or 2 and drive back. And I can do that, thank you, because I got my bendability back with this crazy product, which they said was my old injury in the back was never gonna come around. They were gonna have to do some rods and some different things and tie stuff together. I have not had that. So I am so grateful for this product. Next, Alpha. Okay, this is a whole new line that is just now coming out for those who want to go to the gym or to do their personal best. Does everybody know what personal best is? In any athletic event, when you do your personal best and you're keeping track of your record, once you make a record, you're always trying to catch it or beat it. PR. Yes. PB, personal best, I guess, or whatever they call it. This particular product.
PR.
Yeah.
PR. Personal record.
Yeah.
Yeah, your personal record.
Okay.
Yep.
This product you put in your body, you're gonna keep breaking every record you ever made before because it makes you think you're made of steel and you never want to quit. The transition is a lot of people first probably need the core products. Then they need the specialty products if they're aging, like the collagen particularly, and the mind sync. Okay, we haven't even got to that, but if you are a gym rat and if you're a runner or any kind of athlete, this product is going to change up everything. You take this pre-workout and it's got a boost that will keep you going And you'll do wraps that you haven't been able to do before. The ingredient list is amazing, but we'll get zipping on to the next one, or we're gonna be
Build.
here all night.
Go for
Okay,
Build.
supports increased strength and jumping power. Oh, build. Build is one that you add to your shake. Okay, after you have done your athletic event, your body is depleted and is ready for protein. Protein is what is going to feed the muscles and help them build themselves bigger, stronger than they've been prior to your workout. This has got all the ingredients, assists in the impact and power of protein, assists muscle protein synthesis, uptake, okay? Aids in healthy lipid metabolism. That's the burning of your own fat so that you're getting leaner and leaner while you're building more and more muscle. Okay, the ingredient list is on and on, but this is a supplement that needs to be added to our Ultra 30 shake. It's not a standalone. This one goes with it to increase your protein
it.
content.
Within 20 minutes of exercise.
Yep, 20 minutes at least. Drench. Anybody know what electrolytes are? Are they important?
Essential.
Essential. You're actually a wet machine. Every single one of your cells runs on a liquid, and all of the transmissions that are sent to all the individual little organs inside of a cell come from the powerhouse called the mitochondria. And it's what's sending out the energy, ATP it's called, to ignite, combine, work, back off, turn on, and it goes through the electric current of the liquid inside, and it's carried by minerals. Thank you. That is the exact thing. Electrolytes. Now, not all minerals are electrolytes, but all electrolytes are minerals. Got that? This is loaded, absolutely loaded with electrolytes. And it enhances energy, performance, and it helps with hydration of the cell on the inside. Doesn't matter if you drink all your water and it goes right on past and isn't pulled into the cell, you're going to actually pee it out in the next couple of hours. But if it's pulled into the cell, now everything's going to work better, especially with the electrolytes going in there too. It helps with cognitive function. How many of you would like to remember where you put the keys last week? Any of that help? Or can you name all your grandkids at once?
I can't remember Balboa Way.
Okay, it says it helps with mood. And all of those things are things that particularly all of us want and would love. But this is the next level of becoming not just healthy. Now we can become whatever we want to be, so we look like him and feel like him.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's cool.
So the way that
Question,
the way that you notice this, the mental acuity and the healthy mood and so forth, all of that goes haywire when your electrolytes go out of balance. That's what happens when your electrolytes go out of balance. And ultimately then it leads to sunstroke, heat stroke, because everything goes out of balance and out of whack. That's why that protects. And so heat stroke is the opposite of what this is doing. So this is rebuilding and reversing all of those signs and symptoms of heat stroke, which are mental acuity, mood, focus, all of those things.
If you add this fact, you're 60% plus water. And yet most of you, if you were to take your measurement right now, would be lucky to be 50. And the first thing to suffer is going to be your brain. If you want to get rid of headaches and migraines and digestive challenges such as diarrhea and constipation, water is your first great help. If you do not drink enough water, your body will pay a price for it. But when you can hydrate at cellular level, not just the outside of the cells, now everything works, because now they can work like they're supposed to produce the hormones, to produce the enzymes, to produce the things that turn things on and off in the brain and all over to make you feel good. Endorphin, for instance.
She has a question.
Yes.
Well, I was curious, the e-vibe and then would you take both of them?
Okay, here's the difference between the two. The e-vibe has a jet starter called caffeine. It comes from the guarana. This one has no jet starter. It is pure for the mitochondria, but it has no caffeine. So it has no stimulant at all, but it is far more loaded with the electrolytes than the other one. So this is more for the athletic person who is perspiring like crazy. He's out there working out or in the hot sun or lives in St. George. That one we want. Okay. Next.
It's recommended that you use them opposite days from
Okay,
each
that's what
other.
it's like, would you
That's
go
perfect.
Yes.
day or just go back?
Yes, you can use both, but it's not necessary.
Really?
Usually if you're using one, you've got a
Right.
really good thing
So you
going.
would go
Or like for aging people, because they don't drink the water.
No.
Right, they don't-
Here's what people don't realize. They're drinking soda pop, they're drinking milk, they're drinking juice, they're drinking all of these drinks. And yes, there's water in each one, but there's also chemicals in each one, which when it gets to the cell, it says, I don't want any of those chemicals, so it passes on the water too. When you take pure water and the nutrients that the body wants, electrolytes, it's going to go, oh my gosh, yes, I want those. I'm so depleted of those. Please send me more. So that's the difference of all of these things are going to get into the cells better than anything you've seen before because of the mineral content. Remember those minerals that have to pair up with vitamins and everything else? They are part of the catalyst that takes in the vitamins, the minerals, the enzymes, the electrolytes, the amino acids, and fatty acids.
Well, and Kirsty talks so much about what water you're putting that in as well, like you want to make sure
Clean.
you have clean, pure water.
RO water, if you can at least get it that good. That's usually the least expensive good. It's gonna take out your chlorine, it's gonna take out your fluoride and things that don't belong in the body.
But you're better off to not have to have the caffeine, like.
You can use this completely without the caffeine.
Right,
Now,
but
the
the
caffeine,
The
yeah,
e-vibe has it.
yes, it does. You're exactly right. The caffeine in it is a special blend, unlike the artificial caffeine in all of our caffeinated drinks.
Guarana, right.
Yeah, and that guarana seed, and it's got all of its little cofactors is buffered. So it does not wring out your adrenal glands. It goes in slowly, raises your metabolism,
And then doesn't dump you later.
and then it doesn't drop you. Exactly is the biggest difference. Why? And also the ORAC score and everything else is why.
I
The
love
e-vibe is-
caffeine. I think we should have it all the time.
I'll second that.
Well, thank you for telling.
In
Okay,
proper
for those who are
form.
listening at home,
In proper form.
yeah, this is good stuff. Okay, next. Okay, mind sync. Oh, my goodness. I will just tell you that the brain is capable of doing a lot more than we give it credit for. This particular product, which has been being worked on for years, is now available. They've actually done clinical tests and they ran the tests on gamers. And some of you'll know what that means and others won't. There are professional people who play games against other teams. They're all on a team.
Video games.
Video games, thank you. Well, it's not real combat, but it is as fast as they can move on those keyboards and move their mouse and so forth. They put half of the team with all of the electrodes showing where the brain is firing on both teams. They gave one half a placebo. They gave the other one the active ingredient in our mind sync. The ones who were on the mind sync ingredient increased mental ability and everything else by 20% within 15 minutes. They were absolutely stomping everybody, making less mistakes, being sharper to know where to go and how to do it, and remembering where they were, so in relationship to everybody else, they're protecting everybody. That is actually a clinical study that we can quote. And you can get a copy of that probably at some point in time when it's published. But long story short, having experienced this, beware. If you're taking 2 of these in the morning and 2 at noon, you probably don't want to take e-vibe with it.
Really?
Unless you won't realize you get on task with this and you are so focused that you are just doing, and it increases mood by great amounts because suddenly everything's being fed in the brain, which produces the chemicals that make us feel good and that make us happy and that make us glad. Waking up before the alarm goes off in the morning and wanting to get out of bed, that is way different than just turning off the alarm and saying, I'm putting the pillow over my head. Way different. That's
So, but
one
don't
thing.
use 3, right? 3 and 3.
Oh, it is 3 and 3, not 2 and 2.
Fortitude's 2 and 2. but
That's
this is
right.
3 and 3.
Thank you.
But Mitch, this morning I was at the office and we took 6 together. Like he took 6, I took 6, and we were like, whoa, we were tracking, like we were.
Now, part of the problem, if you're not on the mind sync with the person who took it, they're going to be talking so rapidly, you only hear half of their words and can't figure out what they're trying to talk to you about. I'm almost serious about that. My wife is on them. And I've got to put a new office.
She started.
I've
cleaning,
waited.
she
We've
was-
always been going to build my office, but suddenly this is day 2. Let's get that office built today. And then I want to build mine. I'm going, what? And before I knew it, everything was out. And now all the new stuff was coming in and she was ordering it as fast as she could order it. And says, oh, it's just not here. I can't wait. It's going to be. I says, slow down. So
You might need to take your medicine.
I know.
To keep up with her now.
I know. Well, I am the go-to, so yeah, I'm on them. Anyway,
Gamers love
the
it.
ingredient list on these are so cool. By the way, e-vibe is going to be put in the red packages rather than the black when the black runs out, because they're going to actually have it on the athletic side more so. Okay, Vital Core. Oh my goodness. These 2 products, again, we need at least 2 hours. One on
I'm so
each.
excited about this one.
I will just tell you, the Surgeon General, okay? Hopefully you respect him because he's supposed to know a lot. The Surgeon General of the United States, okay? He's supposed to know even more. Said the following: if people will eat between 5 and 7 servings of fruits and vegetables daily, they will reduce the risk of cancer of the worst kinds by up to 60%. Now I'm going to ask everybody to raise your hand. How many of you have eaten at least 5, if not 7 servings of fruits and vegetables today?
You can.
I need to have-
Nobody can. He was saying stuff that nobody will do. Well, guess what you get? Do you want to see the ingredient list on the back of one of these things? You're getting a half a pound of greens, a half a pound, and you're getting a third of a pound of fruit, and you can switch. One is called
Political greens.
the greens is the organic alkalizing greens, and this is the organic
Antioxidant berries.
antioxidant berries. And what we're doing is when we get these are just now coming out. They're coming off of the finish line to be able to deliver the first of next month, I think. Is I'll have greens one day and fruits the next. And I'll just rotate those. You can put it right in your shake. These are delicious by themselves or added. And suddenly,
You taste it?
anybody who knows about a green drink.
Did you taste it without me?
taste it without us knowing?
Did you taste
What?
it without me?
No comment, no comment. Guys, I'm just trying to tell you, you'll like it. I have no idea. about my taste buds do. Anyway.
My taste buds cannot lie.
My eyes are closed, my mouth is zipped, and I am not confessing to anything. Other than, you're gonna love them. Okay, well, our marketing part is here. For anything that you want to go into detail on, and I know I've taken more than my share of time, I'll just leave with this one comment. If you are thinking that I want some of this in my body, I am going to encourage you, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, because your first 30 days you are fully covered if you order the whole big package and experiment with every single thing. If you don't see some positive reaction that your body has, and hopefully you got a smart scale so you can tell body fat going down, lean body mass coming up, your BMI is improving, your mental stability is improving, you're sleeping deeper and better, all of the things that do show up with more energy, more mental clarity, those things I can tell you happen to me. I believe they'll happen to anyone who tries it. Now, there are people who are unique and maybe they won't. That's where the guarantee is. Anything that didn't work, you can return it in that first 30 days. They'll give you your money back. You're not taking any risk. Even if you ate everything in the package, you give them back. All right. So these products, MindSync, for instance, shows up in the first 15 minutes. The protein shake shows up in the first 36 hours of what it does to satiate, because of all those minerals, the cravings that make us go eat sugary food. I guarantee you, if you take 2 of these shakes a day, your cravings for foods, including chocolate, if you can even imagine this, and I don't want to ruin anybody by telling you this, even your cravings for chocolate will go away. And that makes it possible for us to make it a lifestyle rather than giving into, oh, I gotta have that chocolate, or I've gotta have my soda pop, or I've gotta have something that I know doesn't belong in my body. These nutrients are so good. I have 26 grandkids at this point. 3 of them are great grands. The unique, beautiful thing is, even starting at sippy cup, 1.5, 2 years old, they're getting a little mini shake in their sippy cup. Why? Because I know they'll have the healthiest immune system, the healthiest skeletal system, the healthiest nervous system, the healthiest muscular system, the mental system. What it does in our body is nothing short of awesome. And once you experience it, you don't want to go back to just enduring. We didn't even get to some other of the products, such as the biomes and what they do for our gut, but we have those too. We have and believe in gut health, brain health, and every other kind. And here's my only challenge, that if you trust anything that I've shared with you, you can prove it, if it works or not, in less than 30 days. And you'll usually know in less than 10, there's something different about this. I have hundreds of people at this point who I've shared it with, who have told me, I trusted you enough to try it, but I am so grateful that you brought it. At first, I've tried so many things, I said, nah, and then finally, okay, since I have nothing to risk, I'm going to do it. And now I'm a different person, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year later. So with that, thank you for trusting me tonight to share this with the crowd. Here's the time over to you guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, wasn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Can I ask
Baby.
a question about the real cane?
Yes,
Okay, you don't have,
So
we can do that later.
with this amazing company, with these amazing products, there's just one more thing to share. And that is, when you have an amazing experience with these products, do you think it would then be easy to share with somebody else?
Yeah.
As long as you don't mention network marketing.
Okay, I promise. Because When I'm inviting somebody, that's as easy as it is. It's just like inviting somebody to try a product, or if I had a great experience at a restaurant, and I can totally freely share with someone that experience at a restaurant. That's the way I love sharing these Zallevo products. Because I can take myself out of the equation just like it is at a restaurant, or just like it is at, if I were to have a great shopping experience somewhere, or buying a car from a great person who actually met my needs for needing that car and needing that car, wanting that car, and not pushing me into something that they've got on the lot, right? That's a great experience. So all of us have had a poor experience with somebody who's trying to sell us something, and all of us have had a great experience with someone who wants to just share it. I like to share. And when I share, I don't have to be pushy at all. I can completely just invite somebody to try it. If it makes a difference, then we can have more discussion about it. If it doesn't make a difference, they get their money back. Okay, what's the risk? That's as easy as this gets. And that's all we have to do is we share our experience and share the product. So that to me really sums up the entire network marketing side of this, or the business aspect to it, is it's just sharing something that we've had an experience with, loving it, enjoying it enough that now we want to share it with somebody else because we think it's going to help our friend, our family member. That's all we have to do. And that's as friendly and as easy as it can be. As we continue to do that, then if you will, there's the compensation plan is nothing more than giving you the reward for sharing it. That's all it is. And it automatically kicks in. If you don't want it, you can send the check back. You don't want that check? Send it back to the company. Okay, you don't need it. But if you'd like a little bit of reward for referring a product, sharing a product with somebody, then that's all it takes. And then they send you a nice little thank you check for sharing that product. That to me is network marketing right there at its finest and at its best. I've known people that have just done nothing more than just sharing the experience that they've had with product, had 10, 20, 30 people want to try it, have had such an experience that now their check just continues to grow every month. And that's all they've done is shared a marvelous experience with a couple of products that they've enjoyed. That's all we need to do.
Now, you're from Montana
Yes, sir.
and you run several businesses?
Yes, sir.
Because Shane met my son and daughter-in-law. I hate that word in-law, but he sees the stress that they're under. He saw it the other day, didn't you, Shane?
Yeah.
And so and they need it, but not from me because I can't get through to them.
Yep.
You know, and I hopefully Shane did.
Yeah.
Because
How it goes, I know.
My son and my daughter-in-law, it took Kirsty talking to my daughter-in-law. My son works at corporate. It took Kirsty talking to my daughter-in-law for her to get to understand.
you have,
the importance.
So it's amazing how far just an
Yeah.
invitation could go and just sharing a product could go.
Accepted over the
Yep.
dad who doesn't know, or the mom.
right, yeah.
So
You
true.
could,
So
you could use somebody like Rip up there close to the train station or something.
before we go,
Just down the road from us.
I'd really like to thank Jill for opening up her beautiful home, wonderful
Yeah.
home. So thank you, Jill. We'd like to thank everybody on Zoom for joining us. And I'm going to stop the recording. And does anybody have any questions on the Zoom line?